All right, what's up, everyone? Today we're going to be breaking down an $86,000 deal that we did. We're going to break down how we did it, where we got the lead. We're going to talk about the client that we helped and worked with, so he could get paid on a deal that he basically. Many wholesalers would have just dropped the ball on this deal because it's a tough situation that I guess the negotiation you're in is in this specific deal. That's a terrible way of saying it. What happened is the seller wanted way too much money. Happens all the time. And how do you overcome that obstacle? That's what we're going to be going over today and explaining everything. So you're going to learn a lot. What's up, Nathan?
Yo, what up, my man?
Yeah, man, that was a terrible,
to
terrible
maybe
intro.
better summarize that, guys. This deal perfectly shows why you have to take all the wholesaling formulas, like 70% times it, throw all of that out the window. And how do I know if a seller is actually motivated or not? Because this is a deal that I promise you every single wholesaler would have walked away from. So let's get into it so that we can kind of get into some of the juicy details on the deal.
Man, I love it. And you know what? The good thing about doing this live is we can, if we use this again, which we will put on YouTube when people aren't able to watch it, we can edit that first part out. That was just done terribly by me. Hey, but yeah, thanks for everybody that's popping in here. Again, we got something good for you. I think it's going to help all of you close more deals, because that's why you're tuning in. You want to close more deals. You want to convert more leads, make more money. So let's do it in the real estate space. So I'm just going through my streams right now, making sure they're all firing. So while I'm doing that, Nathan,
so
you having a good day?
Yeah, man. Well, I'll touch on this deal a little bit. This deal, well, I don't want to spoil it too much as far as like the details, because I know they're on the slides and stuff, but this was a deal on face value. I promise you every single day wholesalers are coming across situations and sellers exactly like this. And because they're doing traditional wholesaling, they're just walking away from these deals. Or they're using a garbage formula, making a ridiculously low offer that's not even remotely close, and pissing off the seller and ruining their chances of ever doing a deal.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And also making an offer not only is ridiculously low, but lower than what they can actually offer as to what buyers would actually pay.
Exactly. Well said.
And so, well, he's gone.
Oh, I'm gone?
Oh, we're still here? Okay.
Oh, sorry. I guess I made one of the screens too big. Okay, I think we're good.
We're good? All right.
All right. So let's just re-intro for anybody that's popping in. All right. So today we're going to be breaking down one of our $86,000 deals that we did. And we're going to be explaining everything and how we went about it, how we were able to negotiate it. And this is, as Nathan Valley said, if you were tuning in earlier, this is a deal that most wholesalers would have walked away from. They wouldn't have been able to close. But we're going to show you how the pre-flip method allows you to close these deals. And this was done with a specific client of ours that brought us this lead. He didn't know how to close it. Instead of making zero, we were able to get him paid. Everyone got paid. And the seller was happy. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. The first,
I just want to wait. I want to throw in one quick teaser, guys. If you are talking to sellers and gauging if they're a motivated seller or not based on their asking price, oh my gosh, you're going to want to stay tuned. I promise you are missing out on so much money if you are disqualifying sellers based on their asking price.
Yeah, because every seller wants as much as they can until they realize they can't get it. And then they change their tune, right? They change their mind. So you can't blame them. You can't blame someone that's super motivated or has a situation where they need to sell for asking Zillow or asking for top dollar. That's just how it is. So we're going to explain to you guys how the pre-flip method helped us to make this 86K deal happen. Like Nathan Valley said earlier, why the formula fails, how to handle unrealistic sellers, which I would say 99% of people that you run into, sellers, are going to be unrealistic. Unless you just somehow came into the right time, at the right timing in the process where they've gotten beat up already and they're just ready to make a decision. That rarely happens, right? So like when people get like leads from online, right? They think like, oh, they're not motivated. It's like, no, you just got this person that you don't know where they are in their journey. Maybe they just started, but yeah, you can't just gauge it off of what they want on their asking price.
And just real quick, just to and I know we put it there for simplicity's sake, because that's a language that we all understand is, like a seller that wants too much money. Oh, and how do I handle an unrealistic seller? Guys, for everyone else watching and listening, take that language and just throw it out the window. There is no seller that is unrealistic, that wants an unrealistic number. It might be a price that we are not able to pay, or that a specific buyer that we know is able to pay.
Right.
But guys, if someone owns a property, they can put $1 billion price tag. Will someone pay it? Probably not. Right. And we can say it's unrealistic. But again, when we look at business, if someone can explain to me using the laws of physics why it is impossible for someone to pay a seller a certain number, okay, great. Then that's unrealistic. And you'll see why this will help you in negotiating, right? Because take the emotion out of it as far as, you know, what a buyer thinks realistic or what a seller thinks is realistic or unrealistic. It's just that part doesn't matter. It's what is someone willing to pay? What is someone willing to sell for? That's all that matters.
That's right. And a lot of that has to do with finding the best buyers, right? That can pay the most. And that's where we found a unicorn buyer. We're going to be going over that. So let me take you through a journey down this property down memory lane. So right here, this is the house. At the time when we were working this deal, his estimate was $850,000. If you look at it now, it's more around $950. But yeah, this is the house, big house. And, you know, a lot of flippers don't like to flip houses that are this big, but this house didn't need that much, right? It was just a little outdated, right? Not too bad.
Yeah, so, it could use some updating, but it's livable. It was clean. You know, someone could have moved in it just the way it is, no problem. The other thing too is the estimate was $850, but looking at the comps, again, it's one of those properties to where none of the properties are similar, and the prices really, really vary. So, you know,
yeah, it's really hard
when looking at it. It's someone could think the ARV was as low as 650. Someone could have thought it was 700 or 750. It just depends on how someone decided to comp it and what they thought.
Yes, exactly. And you're going to run into that all the time as you do this business, because some homes just like vary in size, right? Like you're going to have a 2,000 square foot house next to a 4,000 square foot house. And it's going to be like, dang, what do people really pay? Nathan just nailed it. So how did we get the lead? And what was the situation? So Justin was a client of ours that brought us this lead. What he does for a living is he knocks doors and he sells roofing. And what he did is he ran into a lady who needed her roof done, but instead of buying a new roof, she told him that she was thinking about selling. He didn't really know what to do. Obviously, he reached out to us because he knows that we close deals with our clients and with people that need help. So he brought us that lead. And that's when Nathan Valley started taking over the conversation with the seller. And do you remember a lot about that, Nathan? Like,
yeah,
the exact conversation you had with her when she wanted top dollar?
Yeah. So, again, guys, so like, as far as what properties were set, like if we were looking at sold comps and if we were looking at active listings, people would, again, some people would think ARV, some people might argue 650. There's people that could argue 700, 750. There's homes that sold for as much as 900,000, but they were completely different types of homes. And so the conversation with the seller, it was a husband and wife going through a divorce. And my conversation was primarily all with the wife going through the divorce. Nice woman, but also she was a very sophisticated seller. And she came from, I can't remember what exactly it was that she did. She comes from a background with a lot of sales and negotiating experience, specifically in like the car sales world. I can't remember what it was she did exactly, but she's not new to going through a sales process. Again, very sophisticated seller. So her original asking price was $850,000. And again, $850,000. We would like to sell for cash. We would like the convenience. You know, we don't have to sell.
Didn't want to list it. Did not want to list it.
Yeah, we don't want to list it. and we want 850. And again, at a quick glance, I was thinking like, man, maybe a buyer would want to be around like 600. So 850, I didn't know exactly where buyers would be around, but I knew 850 probably was off by at least 200,000.
Right. At least.
But I knew this seller 100% was worth still pursuing. This 100% was a hot lead. This was a qualified opportunity. Now, people say, well, Nate, let me know if this is on other slides. I was going to explain why this is a qualified opportunity.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. But
is there a slide for it, or should I just dive into it now?
There is a slide for it. It goes over the pre-flip method.
Okay. So, again, if we were using the Mayo formula, right? Maximum allowable offer. People do 70% times the ARV minus repairs, minus, the assignment fee they want to make. And literally, if you're using that formula, talking to these kinds of sellers, the offer would have been 350 to 400,000, right? Which would have been an absolute joke. Would have gotten laughed off the phone, hung up on, cursed out, and would have lost out on $86,000. So what do we do instead? Again, she wants 850,000, which at the time seemed like an exceptionally high number, and it was. But here's the thing. Price is not a factor when it comes into motivation in very rare circumstances. But the most important thing I can tell you guys is when you are talking to a seller and you are trying to qualify a lead, it's this simple, guys. If you've got pen, pad, and paper, here's where you want to take notes. 4 questions. Why not just list it with an agent? You'll make more money. Question number 2, why not fix it up yourself and sell it? You'll make more money. Question number 3, why not rent it out? You'll make more money. And question number 4, why not just stay in the property or give it to a family member? That's simple. Because what are we asking? If someone, and we don't just want the yes, no answer, but what's the real reason why none of those are able to be an option? Because if I know, not just the yes, no, if I know the real reason why listing it with an agent is not an option, fixing it up themselves is not an option, renting it out is not an option, staying there is not an option. Well, guys, it's literally the only 4 other things they can do with the property. So if I know none of these options work, they have no other option but me. And if I know they need to sell that house, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next month, it doesn't matter what price they're asking. If they have no other option but me, they have no choice but to come down to my price.
Yeah, exactly. Nathan, you crushed that. So that's exactly where we found this seller. Again, we didn't care about the price because we knew she had the right motivation situation. So
and she had the ability to sell the home. There was enough equity in it.
Exactly.
If she said her price was $850 and she owes $840,000. Hey, ma'am, I wish you all the best. Have a great day, Bly. Right.
You got the sub 2ers back there. Well, hey, you could do a sub 2D. So back up. All right. So, Nathan, so at that point, you knew she wanted 850, and you knew if you offered her a lowball offer, what traditional wholesaling does is you just make a lowball offer, and then you try to get under contract and then find a buyer later. That was just going to ruin the whole deal if you lowballed her. So instead, what did you do?
Yeah. So instead we have a conversation of like, well, number one, again, we realized step 1 of the conversation is walking her through why not list it with an agent, right? Why not fix it up? None of those are able to be an option. She needs to sell. Hey, Ms. Seller, well, what we can do is this process. I don't know exactly what price things would be at, but why don't we have some buyers take a look? I don't know what they'll come back with. It depends on what they think. It depends on what they say. And, we can do this, between now and the end of this week or the end of next week. And at the end of that week, 1 of 2 things will happen. Either 1, if they're able to make it work, great. I can let you know exactly, hey, we can kind of put things in paperwork and everyone's extremely happy. But even option 2, worst case scenario, if they're not quite able to get to that number, I can at least let you know, hey, here's exactly why, and here's to the penny how close they're able to get. And then, Ms. Seller, from there, you have all the information in front of you, and you can make whatever decision's the best fit for you from there. Now, I want to
Perfect.
make one key thing that I didn't put in there. Before I did that, the big question you always want to ask, whatever price the seller wants, right? So the seller wants this insane price. I'm not saying I asked this question first before I even entertain doing that next step. Because if she's like, well, I'm not selling for anything less than 850, then I'm not going to have people go look at it. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of yours. So what do I ask? Money question, guys. Hey, Ms. Seller, I understand why you want the 850, beautiful home, blah, blah, blah. Hey, if for whatever reason, if someone just isn't quite able to pay that 850, I guess what then? I mean, do you have a plan B, set up, hey, if I want this price, cool, no problem, totally get it. Hey, if no one's willing to pay you that, then what? That's what we're asking.
That's a good question.
Now, because if they follow up with, oh, well, if I can't get 850, then I'm going to list it. Great. Hey, that's a great plan. You should go do that. Have a blessed day. Bye.
Or I'm not going to move, right? Oh, okay.
Right.
Well,
or I'm not going to move. That is not a motivated seller. But when you know you have a motivated seller, a qualified lead, that answer will sound something like, well, we really just want to see, we would really like to get as close to that as we can. We definitely want to sell. We want to sell quick. We want to try to get as much money as possible. So we're already getting permission up front. Hey, I don't know what price we're going to be at, but it's going to be lower than 850. Are you going to be okay? Like, does it make sense for us to take the next step? She gives us permission and says yes. Okay, great. Here's the process of what I can do for you. What would you like to do? It might work out. It might not. What would you like to do? Yes, let's do that. Okay, great.
Love it. Well, Nate, now look, what we ended up doing is she gave us the permission. She chose that option. She's like, all right, what can you do for me? Now, again, the traditional way would have made the offer first, blown the deal, and she would have not worked with that wholesaler, right? So instead, what we did is we pre-flipped it, we framed it, and then we started finding a buyer for it. Now, there's two options. You can get it under contract and say, hey, our expectations are, this is what you're expecting. But again, we had the conversation. We'll sign this agreement just so we have the rights to do this. And you know what's going on. But the price can change. You can do that, or you don't need to sign a contract and just reach out to your buyers anyway. Okay. They're not going to snake you, especially if you're talking to them about a specific deal. A lot of people are worried about this, but yes, I'd be worried too if I took a deal they didn't have under contract and I blasted out to the world, right? In the email blast. Not what we're talking about specifically finding buyers for this property. And that's what we do in the pre-flip method.
Yeah. Just to hit on that real quick, because that's the thing that I hear the most. People are like, but Nate, you have people go look at the property before having it under, like, won't they steal the deal? Guys, if someone called you today, if someone called you and said, hey, I'll spend my own money, my own time, my own effort, and I'm going to find an opportunity that's a perfect fit for you, you don't have to pay me a dime. You don't have to manage me. You don't have to employ me. All you have to do is if I bring you something that's able to make you money, you don't even have to pay me anything extra. Just whatever the price is, if that makes you money, it's yours. You'd be like, dude, sign me up for an army of these people that bring me free deals.
That's right.
Right, guys, I don't know when the notion got created of like, oh, watch out for the big bad buyers. Like they're all trying to stab you in the back. I'm not saying none of those people ever exist. But guys, I've done a lot of deals and I got to say, I've yet to have it happen. But here's the key thing. I promise you, if you are posting deals on Facebook, if you are sending out email blasts, 100%, I promise you it will happen. Right? Probably on the first one. But the funny thing is, the crazy thing that a lot of gurus don't mention is 99% of the time, the person that snakes the deal, it's not a buyer. It's another wholesaler pretending to be a buyer because of just methods that we don't agree with that other people teach. So that's a different conversation, but
yeah, and I'll push back on that a little bit. So I actually like, Nathan, I like finding buyers on Facebook, even with the pre-flip method. You just have to frame the post correctly and take it through the right way. Like if you just say, here's the address, good, send me an offer, terrible idea. And that's what an email blast is. It's just like, hey, here it is, send me an offer. No, that's not how we do it. You can frame a post. You can talk about a deal that you have the pre-flip on a Facebook post by basically just saying, hey, I got a motivated seller and blank area. If you're buying this area, reach out. And then you can vet the person before you give them the information. That's what I like to do. Because you can
hate Facebook.
Well, all good. And honestly, that's how you can immediately tell if it's a wholesaler, by their Facebook profile. But anyway, so that's what we did is we pre-flipped the deal. We tested the real buyers and we did post it on Facebook. And there are other ways that you can do find buyers. You can do investor base. You can do Zillow. There's a lot of different ways where you can specifically locate buyers that buy in that area. And it's a pretty simple conversation. We're not going to get too deep into how to have that conversation, but you reach out to them, you let them know you have an opportunity and to go take a look at the property. So that's what we did. We sent the people through. The seller saw that buyers were going through the property that we work with, and she knew that the process was real. So after maybe 5, 6, 7 buyers came through and we sat down and talked to her, she was able to be realistic or at least be ready to receive because she saw that the process was real. Like if that's the issue with lowballing people is because they don't trust you, they don't know you, and they haven't been taken through a process to know that, this is even real. Like, why would I just accept an offer from someone, a lowball cash offer? They haven't even seen the house yet. So that's another reason why making a lowball offer immediately does not work.
What it does is this book is called Influence. The Psychology of Persuasion by Dr. Robert Cialdini. Super good book on negotiating. I highly recommend it. One of the principles he talks about in the book is social proof, right? Because now it's not just us versus them. It's like, hey, this is what everyone else is saying.
Yeah.
What would you like to do? And on top of that, guys, when they know, hey, these people are buyers, we're not buying it. They are. It depends on what they think. It depends on what they say. Well, guess who's not the bad guy anymore? You. So when you go back to the seller and you're like, hey, Ms. Seller, I know you wanted the 850. Here's kind of the roadblocks I'm running into. Because of these things, 850 is not quite able to work. We would probably need to be a lot closer to this. What are your thoughts?
This was the range that we were getting.
No. You're missing out on some numbers there, brother. Lowest offer we got was 570. I remember.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It was, guys, we were getting offers between 570. Yeah, I remember we had an offer of 570, 580. And then basically all the way through from 570 to 650. And
so yeah, again, if you would have came in with the lowball offer without this process, she would have just cursed you off the phone, right? And by the way, this was done all virtually. Nathan does not live in Utah, and I did live at the Utah, but I didn't go see the house. Yeah, we don't walk houses. You can do this all over the phone virtually from where you live, right? In your couch.
The process that whether you're virtual or in person, the process doesn't change. I know there's a few you crazy ones out there that love to do just in person. And that's great. I love you. The process is the same. It's the same conversation, same process. It's just, do you want to do it over the phone or in person?
So we came in with that info, right? You came in with the social proof or the proof, right? And you said, hey, this is where we're going to be around. And what happened when she wanted 850, after it took her through the pre-flip process, what happened, Nate?
Yeah. So after we kind of have our sales process where we're going kind of back and forth and presenting all this. So, long story short, went all the way from 850 and we went to a signed contract at 632,000. It was 632, right?
654.
Are you sure? I could have swore it was lower.
Nah. I think I did the math because it was an $86,000 deal.
I think we almost had them at 632. I'm remembering the conversation specifically. Either way, $200,000 difference.
Right.
So, and we had, do you have another slide for the offers at?
The offers that this talks about the unicorn buyer.
So what was it? So we had, again, lowest offer was 570. We ended up going under contract at 654. And we had two other offers that were above that contract price. One at 680. Heck yeah, man. $26,000 deal. That's pretty dope. And the other one was at 740. I think it was technically 742,000, but we cut a little bit of money for like moving costs or whatever. 740,000. Now this is one thing. Nate, how is it possible that you have buyers? You can have one buyer that's willing to pay 570,000 and then another buyer that's willing to pay $740,000. How is that even possible? Guys, I promise it's not by using a formula. Every market is different. Every property is different. But guys, most importantly, every individual buyer is different. One person might be looking to buy this. They're going to move into it. They're going to do all the work themselves, sell it. A second guy, they're looking to buy it. They have their own crews that are going to fix it up and sell it. Another guy, he's looking to buy it. He owns the construction company. He owns the mortgage company. He owns the real estate brokerage. He owns the title company. But the other thing too is the reason why we can't use a formula is because the numbers are subjective. For example, what's the ARV? What's the after repair value? What is someone willing to pay for a property after it's fixed up?
Right.
Whatever they're willing to pay. ARV is just a technical term for saying
it's a guess,
what's
dude.
our best guess.
Yeah, seriously.
And the thing was when it's a best guess, it's subjective. It's like you and me. If we were to walk into an art museum, it's like going, what is the best piece of art? I don't know. Your answer might be different than mine. Now, there's ways in which we look at things to try to make an educated guess. But guys, for ARV, it's not a finite, definitive thing. Each person has different views. And a lot of people say, wow, the person that paid $740,000, man, there must be a sucker born every minute. That guy went on to, I want to look up the numbers now. He sold it because I checked in. He sold it for over 900 grand and barely did anything to it.
Man,
like
makes me
3 months
kinda,
later.
Sometimes, and by the way, guys, when you wholesale, sometimes you're gonna be like, man, I should have just kept that thing and flipped it. And that's happens with a lot of deals. But anyway.
Yeah, until you guys keep the bad ones, then you're like, I'm good.
You keep the bad ones that rock you. So Nate, we were able to take a deal full circle. We were able to take a deal that most wholesalers would have lowballed the seller and ruined the deal. So with the pre-flip method, what it allows you to do is not be the bad guy, the one that loses the trust of the seller in the beginning. It's such a bad process, man, to like just make a lowball offer to someone on the first call. They don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you yet.
And it's like you don't even know if that offer will work. Like that's the worst part about it is traditional wholesaling. It's making promises, making offers, making commitments to sellers that you have no idea if you can keep. And people wonder why with traditional wholesaling, oh man, I'm having such a hard time consistently doing deals. Well, it's because that whole model is let me throw stuff at a wall and hope it sticks. It's hard to build a profitable and consistent business that's based on guessing.
So you have to base it off of qualification. That's why you have to base it off of, is this someone I can work with? Period. Not what is their price? Like, again, so many deals. Like Nathan, we were talking to that guy from Property Leads about the data, and he said that like 50% of leads that people like kind of toss away end up selling, right? Well, that doesn't always mean it's a cash offer, but like a lot of people take leads and they're like, oh, they didn't do anything with them. They throw them away and they end up closing. Why? Because they're not always in the process to accept a lowball offer. They're not always in that part of the journey or that step. So if you're doing that, you're going to blow up deals.
Even just to test that, right? Like, don't even believe me. It's fine. Ask any guru, or just they'll say it in their own content. Hey, where does the majority of deals come from? And they'll all say, oh, 95%, 98% of all the deals, it comes from the follow-up. Make sure you stay on top of the follow-up. Okay, well, guys, let's bring it in. If over 90%, if the vast majority of your deals come from follow-up, why do you have a sales process that is optimized for a one-call close? That doesn't make sense, right? Nor does it doesn't work that way in the real world.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could go down that rabbit hole for a while, but
so this formula, that max allowable offer formula that everyone teaches you, called this deal impossible, but an impossible deal turned into $86,000. And not only that, but Justin, our client, got paid 30% of that. And we sent him a check for $17,200 for basically just having the conversation with the seller. And
he just handed it off. He basically said, hi, are you interested in selling? I know these people that might be able to help you.
Now, how we work with people, if anybody has been wondering what we do at Painless Flipping, is we set up your wholesaling real estate business and we do deal support. We help you close deals. We'll literally close the deal for you so you can learn while you learn as you go, because that's the best way to learn this business. So we talked to a lot of people that they think it's education in the sense of watching videos and that's it, right? Like you're just learning. No, you have to see it applied on real deals. You have to take action. You have to get wet. You have to get in the pool. You have to do it, right? You have to take action. So that's what we do. And people, now this isn't everybody. Not everybody makes money, right? Because some people don't do anything. But if you take the action and you do what's required, you're going to close deals. So that's what we do. And that's what happened on this deal. And let me see what's on the next slide.
Also, fun fact, I don't know if you even know this. A month later, it was about a month, 5 weeks, I think. The seller, she texted me and sent me this picture of her whole vision board and this really long paragraph, this whole text saying, thank you so much. Appreciate everything you guys did. Thank you for helping me complete this part of my vision board and like move on to the next step of my life. Because obviously a divorce is never an easy thing.
No.
And yeah, so it's cool, guys. When done properly, like this business doesn't need to be about, oh, let me just do a lot of volume and just insult enough people with a low offer to where I'll finally get someone to say yes. Like, no, this business, it can be consistent, it can be profitable, but even more so, you can be the person to where you can make a lot of money helping a happy seller and a happy buyer.
Yeah, and I want to add this. Price isn't a motivating factor. It's not that important to people all the time, right? Like what was important to her was convenience, ease, and speed. Like she just wanted to get it out of her life. So you might look and be like, well, she could have got more. Well, she knew she could have got more. We told her that multiple times, but that wasn't important to her. So again, for you guys to anyone that comes across a seller and thinks you can't make a deal happen if they're unrealistic, like look, it might not even be that important. They front in the beginning. That's just how sellers are. They're not going to be like, hey, lowball me. I'm open. I'm ready. What do you got? So
yeah. And it's guys, it's because nobody has to be a rock star negotiator to be like, hey, I don't want this person to know that I'm desperate. Yeah. Right. So when sellers give these really high prices, it's just because they have their guard up. They're not like these rock star closers and negotiators. It's like, no, they're just trying to do what they can so that they don't get taken advantage of. Right. And you can't blame people for that. So again, having a process to where, hey, price aside, is this someone that I can help serve better than anybody else?
Love it. Now, this is in a nutshell. We're going to go full circle. This is why we don't guess. And this is why we do the pre-flip method. ARV is an opinion. It's not a fact. So if you base your business off of ARV, you're basing off of your guess. Okay. And it's not going to work very well. Buyers set the price. Ask them what they'll pay. Get them to look through the house. Okay. Now you become the consultant. I use that term just because you give them options, right? If you're the one that's like, I'm buying your house, I can do this. You paint yourself into a
just
corner.
Really clear. That's probably not the best way to phrase it. Let me be very clear, because you are not representing the seller. You are not representing the buyer. You are still entirely negotiating on your own behalf. The seller understands that. The buyers, everybody's negotiating on their own behalf. You are not representing anybody. You're not even really consulting, but it can potentially feel like a consultative process because it's just everyone's kind of working together
Exactly.
with a
And
lot
by
more
the way,
synergy.
and there's always a unicorn buyer. There's always, every deal we've done, we've seen that there's usually a spread because we deal with higher price point properties. There's usually a spread of at least a difference of $100,000 in offer prices. So like
Guys, on average,
average.
I just want to like say that for the kids in the back that might have not heard it. Every deal that we do all markets all across the US, all different price points, right? Because our clients are everywhere. On average, every single deal that we do, when we're getting offers from cash buyers, the difference between the lowest cash offer and the highest on average is $100,000 difference. Meaning every single deal that we do, we'll have one buyer that's like, I wouldn't pay a penny over 150,000. And the guy we sell it to will pay $250,000.
Crazy, man. So let's tell them how we help people, Nathan, because I know anybody that's still watching or will watch this has gotten this far, wants to know what we can do. Because I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're like, man, this has happened to me. I've lost out on deals that I knew could have been deals, but I didn't know how to deal with it. So what we do is we build this business for you and we build it with you. All right. So we do the hard parts with you and for you. And I know with and for you, we do both. Now we set up your automated seller lead system. If you guys aren't generating leads, motivated seller leads, and you're just like hoping this business will work out, you're going to fail. You need to get leads coming in your business. That's what we do. We set you up with automated seller lead system. We give you the exact training in the script on what to say to qualify the seller. And then we do the hardest parts for you. And what that looks like is we'll negotiate the deal. We'll get it under contract. We'll find the buyers. We'll do the paperwork, transaction coordination. We'll do the whole thing. And you learn as you go. That's the best way to learn this business is through a deal. And once you've learned and done a couple deals or even one deal, you take over the whole business. It's yours. It never was ours. We're just helping you build it. And if you don't see the results you want, if you don't get a deal within a certain amount of time, obviously we can break that down for you later. You don't have to pay. All right. So that's what we do. And yeah, this deal we like doing deals like this because it doesn't feel like we're fighting an uphill battle. We're on the same side, right? There's synergy. So that's Nathan, do you have anything you want to say about before we head out about the
just in the simplest way that I can explain it, what we do for you guys, in my experience, most programs, courses, whatever, it's like going to Michael Jordan and being like, hey, Mike, show me how to make that game-winning shot. And he shows you step by step. And he's like, here's what shoes you want to wear. Here's the jersey. Here's the kind of wristband. Here's the type of gum you want to chew. Well, right, whatever. Here's all the tools. But he shows you how to do it. And then Michael Jordan hands you the ball. And he's like, all right, you're up. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I sure as heck know for me, just because Michael Jordan showed me how to do it, that does not make me Michael Jordan overnight. Because the reality is he's done it thousands and thousands and thousands of times. And my issue is there's a lot of, we'll say Michael Jordans out there that will say, oh, you just take the ball and you put it in the basket. And it's like, dude, it's a little bit of an oversimplification. Sure. Right. What we do instead is imagine if Michael Jordan said, here's what play is going to be the best fit for you specifically. Just run here, catch the ball, and then call timeout. And then you can hand the ball to Michael Jordan and he can make the shot for you. And you can do that whenever you want, as many times as you want. But it's so that you can still be scoring points, closing deals from day one without having to wait to be the Michael Jordan of every single little piece first. So now, if that sounds interesting, book a call. Love to chat with you guys and see if it's a fit.
Love it. Last thing I'll say is 86K deal would not have happened if Justin was taking that shot. Wouldn't have happened.
And Justin, we love you, brother. You know?
And I know the 86K deal wouldn't have happened if a majority of wholesalers would have taken the shot because they're doing the traditional way. You got to be able to work with the specific seller they want to work the way that works for them, right? So novation, wholesale, whatever it is, you got to know the strategies. Anyway, guys, if you're interested, go to painlessflipping.com, PAYNELESS, just like my last name, painlessflipping.com. Book a call. We'll chat. We'll see if we're a good fit. And if not, we'll We'll see you on the next video. Later.
See you guys.